Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another very interesting episode on DD Goa called Inspiring Entrepreneurs. Today we are with Musharaff in Shorrow as we talk to her about her studio, Oon Art, as you can see, Oon Craft Studio, which we are going to be talking about beadwork in a very unique style, keeping in focus nature, and of course selling it to people not just in Goa, not just in India, but across the world. Musharaff, thank you for joining us on this episode of Inspiring Entrepreneurs. As an inspiring entrepreneur, it's so great to have people from different walks of life doing things which are not very common, but at the same time making a living from doing things which are very niche. So thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about you and the work that you do at your studio. So could you give all our viewers a little insight into what Oon Craft Studio is all about?
So what I really love to do is I love to create with my hands. So all of this is just born out of that curiosity to kind of create some things that I find beautiful. So I think I came across a bead creation a very long time ago, and my first instinct was to, how do I create this? So that's how it started. And being in a place like Shorrow, where there's so much of abundance of nature and wildlife, so basically what I do is I capture everyday life in Shorrow by all the birds that I see in my backyard. It's mostly it. I try to capture my everyday life and bring it out through the beauty of beadwork. And this is something that I feel like I get a lot from my grandmother, because it's not just the beads, it's also creating with thread, which is what Oon is. Oon is basically yarn. So I have a lot of experience in creating with thread and yarn, and it always fascinated me to see how a single skein of yarn can transform into something so beautiful, be it crochet, be it embroidery, as you can see. I have some of my pieces here. And then now it is bead, but yeah, it's just capturing the beauty that is around me.
Okay, so let's start talking about how did this come about. You spoke about you're inspired by whatever you see in your backyard, especially the birds. But what made you take up this form of art and move it in a very creative direction?
I would say it all just happened. There was no intention to create something. I just created for the joy of it. And I think a lot of people kind of they pushed me to go ahead and try to sell it or do something bigger with it. So I think I just went along with the flow, and that's where it took me, I guess.
Okay. Let's talk about your artwork as well now. How did you go about with starting, creating, and of course now selling?
It was all a very organic process, to be honest, because when I started it, like any other creation that I started, it was mainly for myself. It was mainly to gift people. So that's how I started. I started learning. So it was a big learning curve, right from the process of getting the right bead to the process of understanding the different techniques, because there are so many different techniques in bead work. There's embroidery, there's brick stitch, there's peyote. And I think I just was very curious to learn how something is made. Like, how can I make objects and forms using beads and not sticking them but stitching them together, which is a very long process. So it took me a long time to kind of understand how it all works. And from there, I kind of experimented with forms, and the kind of forms that excited me the most because of the colors and the possibilities of creating something beautiful was the birds. So I started creating birds, and I think I had a lot of people help me out with making the page, help me clicking pictures, helping me with ideas. So I have a lot of friends and support that way that kind of inspired me to take the next step. Then I think I did a lot of flea markets. In Goa, it's a great opportunity for creators to kind of display their work at these markets. And I got a lot of opportunity. I got great validation from people who were who had never seen something like this before. So that was big encouragement for me to put my work out there, and it got good reception. It's only now I'm slowly learning how to navigate it. My intention is to not impose something with an idea of a fixed idea of what I'm going to create. I think it's very fluid, and that's how it has been, and I think it is better than what I would have planned, I guess. And through this, I think I've met a lot of people who are doing very meaningful work. And yeah, I'm learning a lot, and every day I'm learning so much about nature, about wildlife, about birds, and it really excites me to create this.
Okay, let's talk about this gift that you talk about creating, right? How do you go about creating a piece of work of art? What is the first step that goes into it, and what is the last step that happens?
I think the first step is for me always it arrives. The first step is it just comes to me. So it would either be like a bird that I'm seeing constantly in the day, and then it's like, okay, I got you. I'll create this.
So do you like take a photograph or something, or do you just remember, to recreate art, to get inspired by it? Do you take a photograph, or
no,
is
I
it
go back to references.
Oh.
I go back to like sketches of different artists or photos that there's some wonderful photos that people have taken. So I go back to that. I kind of sketch it out on paper, even on the grid, and then I put it on an app, which kind of helps me to kind of So then there's an app that helps me to check the number of stitches. So it's easier for me to count and.
Once that is done, then what happens after that?
And then I just take the bead and thread and needle, and then I follow the pattern. And then I create it. So it's a long process of line by line, bead by bead, stitching everything together. So it creates the whole.
How long would something like this take on an average for you?
That's a very difficult question to answer, because every time I've tried making the same thing, it takes me different times.
Okay, then let me rephrase that question. Tell me, how quickly can something be done, and how long something would take for you? So in terms of the career that you've been working in, how quickly have you finished a piece of work, and how long has some of the longest painstaking tasks, I would ask?
Right. The quickest I've done is 20 minutes, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's a very small flower that I made.
Nice.
And the longest, I think it took me a week.
Oh, wow.
To make something, yeah. From the entire process of designing to creating to everything.
So how many hours do you dedicate in a day to work like this?
I think it would be.
Is it like a 9 to 6,
It would be very challenging and demanding for me physically and mentally for me to do.
I mean, that's what a lot of people don't realize, that they think that an entrepreneur's job sometimes, they don't see them doing a 9 to 6. People, but there is a lot more work which goes into it. There's a lot more mental capacity which is actually being utilized. So if you could tell people, who would say, as you said, 15 minutes, something as quick. Or if it's a week, what would be the hours that would be dedicated for someone like you to do that?
It's quick spurts. For me, it's like if I'm drawn into a piece, I will sit with it for a very long time, and then I'll need to take a long break, because then it's very demanding on the body to work that way. But I think in that way it's very sporadic as well.
Okay.
Because it's when inspiration strikes and I can't stop myself. So I just sit and I don't know, I forget time.
So when inspiration strikes, that's when you hit the iron when it's hot.
Yeah. And I can't stop myself. It's like I have to create. So it's more than anything is that the need to create. And
Okay.
they need to put it out.
So let's talk about some of your creations right now, like memorable pieces of work that you've done, which you can go and say, this is something that I truly cherish. Some of the works that you would like to highlight.
Wow. So this is very recent development.
Okay.
So it's, I would say, a lot of my beautiful memories of pieces that I've created are not pieces that I have sold.
Oh, okay. Are they pieces that you've kept?
No, pieces I have gifted. So the way it started, I should tell you this, is I learned crochet from a little boy called Adya, and this was maybe 15 years ago, and I would travel all over the country, because at that point I was practicing architecture and I wanted to learn the traditional building techniques. So I would travel all over the country, and I would, on my journeys, I would always have a crochet needle and like a bag of yarn. So I would always create, and everybody I met on the way, I would gift them something, some friend that I made on the way. It would be my way of remembering somebody. So I think my most memorable pieces are like a bag that I made for a friend, or a dream catcher that I made for a stranger on a train journey who shared everything about his life, whatever. It felt like such a close connection. And for him, that piece of dream catcher was so precious that he told me he is going to put it in his altar behind an idol of Ganesh. So yeah, and yeah, like beanies that I made for my friends, earrings that I made for my friends. Yeah, those come to my mind first. But yes, of course, there's other things that I have made. I made a crochet coral installation. It was a part of a project at Serendipity with a lot of other artists. That was very challenging. It took me one whole month of working without any rest.
Wow. Musharaff, as an entrepreneur, you need to have different hats that you need to wear at different points of time. But you started off, as you just spoke about, in architecture, right? So what made you go from designing buildings and structures and stuff like that, doing something like this? Did it help in this journey? I'm guessing it might have, it would have. So could you give us a little insight for someone who would like to get into a creative field? What would they need to have as well?
So yeah, I completed my architecture, and my main interest was to create with my hands again, to build buildings with my hands. So again, it was I was building natural buildings. So it's with mud, with bamboo and things like that. But yeah, the education in architecture, the design, of course, it all helps, because ultimately you're working with form, you're working with space, you're working with dimension. So all these things, I'm sure all my architecture background has.
Did it give you like basics in terms of like, like say, as you said, like, like sketching, in terms of like the mathematics behind it, in terms of how much of space, dimensions, as you said, what would those aspects help in it?
Yeah, definitely. I think the skills to be able to draw, even though I wouldn't put it very top in things that you need to be an entrepreneur, or you need to be an artist to create something, but it does definitely help to kind of have those skills, to have ideas of like proportions and dimensions, which you would get in an artistic education, I think.
All right, let's talk about some of this. You speak about how you've sold some of your work, right? How easy has it been to transition from, like, say, a 9 to 6 to doing this full time? Is this what you do full time, or do you have a secondary source of income? Because that is something that many entrepreneurs have a challenge with, like saying, especially when it comes to creative work, to be able to survive solely on your creative income is difficult. So walk us through how it works for you.
Yeah, I think right now this is my sole source of income, and touch wood, I think I'm lucky, because right from the conception till now, I think it has gotten good reception. And it has been working through word of mouth, or people who come across me in flea markets, or people who know me around here, or people who have gifted it to people. So I think over a span of 2 years, I think it's been almost 2 years, I would say that it has been profitable
Enough.
enough
been
for me
enough.
to
Yeah.
sustain.
Yeah.
And I think I'm also exploring other venues of taking this forward, going ahead with maybe like creating a bigger piece, or you know, like seeing where it goes.
Okay.
So basically, it's just allowing it to be guided in the way that it's going to be taken, because I feel like sometimes I did not plan for it. Firstly, to begin with, I have multiple areas of interest, and I would be doing multiple things. I was teaching before this, and then before that I was doing something else. So it's kind of a culmination of everything that now it feels like a more settling practice for me as an individual first, before I even plan on selling it. For me, it is something that keeps me, just the whole practice of creating it. It's my way of prayer, if you can put it that way. So for me, it's a sacred practice.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I think wherever it takes, I am surrendering to it.
Yeah, you're going with it.
I'm completely surrendering to wherever it takes.
All right. Another thing which many entrepreneurs, a challenge that they do face is support. Okay.
Yes.
What has been your family's support in this, or what has been the people who have supported you? Who are the people that have supported you? Because it won't be easy to do this all on your own without having support, whether it's like, you know, if you're working late, you know, making food, or maybe, you know, just having your other chores taken care of. How do you manage to have expectations managed in the house?
Right. My parents have always been supportive. Every time they're like, okay, now she's on to something else. So
that's been a very, that's been like the bedrock, having very supportive parents.
Yeah, having supportive parents, having a privilege, I would like to acknowledge. Having a privilege to know that no matter what you have family that's going to support you. So even if something didn't work out in the end, I know that I am safe, I'm fine. That's very important. I think if you're talking about people who are wanting to start something and want some form of security, I think to have security in people, that, you know, no matter what, you have that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even having the backing at least,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't have to be financially. Sometimes
Yeah,
just saying that, hey, you know, we've
support.
got you. Like, you know, we'll help you in whatever you need. That sort of thing.
I think that's something that I've got, which is why I've been able to kind of just fly.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's very, very important. So
and
family
of course,
has been
family and amazing friends.
Yes.
Who I've learnt a lot from, and my partner. Everybody was, and like everything around me. I feel like so blessed to be in a place like this where I'm just surrounded by abundance. So every time I go out and I see that there is so much of abundance around me, there's no way that I can feel a sense of lack in any way. So I feel supported from everything,
Excellent. So Musharaff, let's talk about Oon Craft Studio and the work that you have. I mean, we are sitting right now in a lovely corner of her house in Shorrow, where she set up her studio with works of art out here. So let's walk us through this process of, you know, where you source your beads, what is the work that goes in, how can people buy some of your stuff, can they commission it, or do they have to only buy pieces of work which have already been done and are up for sale? Can you, I know there are a couple of questions thrown in there, but if you could walk us through this entire process. Also, could you talk to us a little bit about the entire, the work that you do, where, you know, because it's not something that a lot of people know about. So what is the whole concept about?
So basically, if you can see maybe later, these are very small glass beads, and these are sourced from Japan.
Okay.
And I have had friends that are kind enough. There's some people who I've been lucky that they go to Japan and then
they get it for you.
They get it. I order it from.
So
from
these
Japan
beads are from Japan.
Yeah, these beads are from Japan. I stitch them all together with a thread, and So this is something that I just recently made. It's a goby fish. It's it's made with different. So the best part about these beads is that it has a very even form.
Okay.
So then it comes together very well.
Mm-hmm.
And it has different opacities. Like there are some transparent beads, which the fins that you can see that they feel transparent almost. So yeah, and there are lots of colors. So I really love, I love how the end result looks.
Question.
Yeah.
Is it specific to Japan that you have to source your beads only from Japan, or is it like because you like it for a certain reason or something like that, sir?
So these can be made with other beads as well, but it would not give the same kind of
Finish.
very polished finish.
Okay.
So that's the only reason
What
why.
are these beads called?
These beads are called Miyuki beads.
Okay. And you
Yeah.
source them all the way from Japan?
Yes, I source
Lovely.
them from Japan. And yes, I have been asked for commissions.
To commission
and,
pieces of
yeah,
work.
commission pieces of work, and I have made different things for different people.
What are some of the things that you've made for people?
I made a Darth Vader.
Oh, really? Very
which is
cool.
very,
Very-
yeah, which is very different from my interest, but
Yeah.
it's a breath of fresh air to kind of move from what I'm used to doing.
Yes.
Then there's some pets that people commission me to
Okay,
make.
of
And,
course. That's, I think, a very nice idea, commissioning a piece of art for the pet so
Yeah.
that it stays, it's like memorialized.
yeah.
Very nice.
And then lots of birds, like there's this Indian pitta, and so there are a lot of people like who are into birds, who love birds, and especially being in Goa, you see so many birds here. And there's a kingfisher that you see by the Manus all the
Oh,
time.
yes.
It's a white-throated kingfisher.
Nice.
So different varieties of birds that I often encounter on my walks or just sitting by my.
So
in my
nature
backyard.
plays a major role for you in terms of inspiration.
Yes, it does.
But you also, if someone commissions you, say we would like to do something different, you're open to that as well.
Definitely, yeah.
All right. And what about pieces of art that you've already worked on? Where can people go to purchase it? How does that work?
You can contact me on Instagram. Right now, I don't have a lot of. I don't have a website or anything.
But on Instagram.
Yeah, on Instagram is where you can reach me.
Okay. And then they can reach out to you and then they can place an order for it.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Yes. Right. So, a lot of entrepreneurs, especially young entrepreneurs, might not have access to the, like as you said, you get or rather you source your beads all the way from Japan. Many may not be able to do that. Are there alternatives to that? And what made you go all the way to Japan to source your work from there?
I went through all the beads that are available in the market, but I was looking for a specific kind of a fit.
Okay.
So I went through all the beads that are available in the market, and some of the Japanese beads were available in India, and I ordered them and I love them. For youngsters who are looking for trying something in beads, I would say don't give up just because there's no Japanese beads. There's lots of other beads available in the market that are equally good. I would recommend Preciosa. Preciosa glass beads also gives a great finish. Yeah, and there's no limit to creativity. I think there's no restriction. Money is not should limit you.
Should not limit you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving into the future, what are some of the works of art that you have in the pipeline that you can talk about?
I want to create a big piece of work. Slowly, I'm like kind of wanting to create a bigger piece.
In
That'll
terms of
take
the size.
me like a month to create.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just that it's going to be a gamble because I'm going to spend a month and use a lot of material. But yeah, I would love to do it for myself and then see from there where it goes.
All right. Musharaff, before we let you leave, we've got quite a few young entrepreneurs, especially in the creative field, who might be watching this show, especially on our YouTube channel as well as on social media. Would you like to give them a message, especially people in the creative field, or maybe people who are working a 9 to 6 and are a little hesitant to jump into the creative field? Any message of, as a creator yourself, as an entrepreneur like you, what would you like to give as a message to people watching?
Do what feels very natural and right for you. If you feel like you have to continue doing your 9 to 5 and then have your creative outlet on the side, I would strongly recommend you continue doing that and not just quit and make a jump. But for somebody who's willing to give it a shot and feeling inspired to do it, I think just follow what feels right, but something that comes very naturally and easily, I think, rather than fighting against and going against the flow. I think just go for whatever feels right.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Out here in the lovely little village of Sharao, we have a budding artist. So it goes to show that you could be in any part of the world. Your creativity does not stop. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us at DD Goa. All the very best for Oon Craft Studio and to you for all your projects in the future as well. Congratulations
Thank you so
on
much.
setting up something which is really, really beautiful,
Thank
and
you.
all the very best.
Thank you
Cheers.
so much.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.